Welcome to our today's class. In the previous class, we looked into how we can able to employ and use the R inbuilt data. And this is from the package called Outreach. In the Outreach, we looked at exploiting the data code which to how to attach the data, how to see what is in the data, were able to get that. So we also introduce ourselves to one package called Moments. The Moment is able to get you the distribution in terms of the mean, standard deviation, amongst other. For the given moment of time, we were able to look at the mean and the standard deviation. Remember, one thing that you need to understand with that, this code here at the top, it's always very important because it is able to clear you any other data that is there that might interfere. Like for our case, you've seen I've already attached that on the left top, right top right, that the which two has around 995 observation with 7 variables. So if I highlight this code and run, I'm able to clear the environment. If I press Ctrl L, I'm able to clear the console. So we don't have anything that's attached there. So we need to always ensure that if we want to our student to work with a data set called Outreach, click library, and since we want to look at the mean and so forth, just moment at a time, and we're able to get all these observations as I can see them from the console. And also bottom right, you're able to see that data. It's an explanation of what are these 7 variables. They mean what is the Duke age, when say age of what, and they say married and as Adame what. We looked at the standard deviation. So we also looked at how to subset the data. It's take as given how subsetting the data subset the data is which you can change anything. For this case, we might tend to look at the married, and where we are saying married is greater than 0, we just want to consider those that are married. So if we run that, you can highlight and also click the run. As you can see my cursor, you're able to see this distribution of the data. We also looked at how we are able to work at the subset data. In this case, we look at the married. We've already subset the data. So we want to look at the mean of the education level of the married people. And when you run that, you're able to get that and so forth. On today's data, we'll be looking at what we're calling the histograms. So we want to work right now to get to look at the histograms. How do you draw histograms in using R? This is a code. The PR mflow is equals to C byte 1 and 2. That tells you want to have a shape that has 2 columns. The histo, it's a code for histogram. You want to use, let's use married here, or we can use hours. One of the variables is hours. Then the frequency is true. Can also use hours here, and also see, let's run this and see what will happen. It's want to see that distribution of hours, and when we run that one, we're able to see at the bottom right, you see that histogram. It gives us the frequencies and the density of hours. You see the most the frequency of those hours in terms of we've seen the variable hours, like the hours that a given person, married person work, or the hours that are given an individual who is getting a particular age supposed to. This is distribution of the histogram. I've seen what is the base x and the y axis, that distribution. You can also decide what if you want now not to consider hours, but you want to consider something like south. Right? consider south, you need to also understand one thing that you need to understand. It's you need to clear out that these graphs that you've already created, and you can say you can put a slash. You say clearing the histograms, the graphs. You can call them the figures for now. So how do you clear them? You just highlight this and run at disable. Sorry, it's have not. Yeah, run. It's not able to clear. So one thing that I also need to understand is you need to cut. Let me cut it, copy it and paste it here. You need to run the whole of this, and it's able to clear you all that information. Let's see. Yeah, and it's cleared for us. So one thing that you also need to understand that for you to be able to clear the graph, you attach this code, and the first 3-4 codes are able to clear the environment. The environment has two parts: the top and the bottom part, right top and right bottom. When you add dev.off, are you able to clear the shape? So let's now run this and see what you're able to generate, and be able to generate those shapes for the south, the distribution, histogram. And we've put 1, 2. What if in this case we just put 3? Let's see what will happen. Run. So let's first of all clear these shapes and see what happens. Let's run with a 3 and we see whether there is any difference. So you see the difference, that they are more thinner. But since we want to see the distribution of the two, we just highlight this and we are able to run it. And sorry, before we run, we need to delete, and then we run and we're able to see what we're able to see, check the difference. So the palm flow is you want to combine the two shapes here, and also you want the frequency for true and false, and one to be red and also the other to be blue. The one is for the density, the magnitude, and also the other one is the one with red is for the distribution. You can decide to change the color. What if we change the color to green? Let's see what happens. First of all, we delete these ones and we run, and it's able to delete. Let's see if there's any miracle that will happen. Yeah, and so we can play with this color and so forth. We've learned how to put in Instagram from the data that we've either subset and or we've been able to load and are having manipulated them in the previous. So this is what we now get to learn today. It's a pleasure having you. Until the next class, for me, it's a bye-bye.